Hey everyone, welcome to the Walk to Wealth podcast. If you're tuning in on YouTube or any of the podcast directories, we just ask you one teeny tiny little favor. If you can make sure to leave us a follow so that we can keep on bringing amazing guests like the one we have today. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Chanya, for anyone that may not know you, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Chanya Champagne. I'm from Stamford, Connecticut. I'm 22 years old and I'm figuring this life shit out. Honestly, let's do it. Let's do it. What's up?
And so, Chanya, let's get right into it, right? So tell us a little bit about your Walk to Wealth. We grew up going to similar schools. We grew up both going to Stanford public school system. What was like from your shoe, from your perspective, growing up here in Stanford? And, tell us a little bit more about your story growing up.
It was hard. My family, my parents, they came to America. They're from Haiti. They came to America, I want to say 1998. I was born in 2000. And as I'm figuring life out, they were also figuring life out in a new country. It's completely different from the US. They came to America with dreams. That's all they had. Dreams, their feet, the clothes on their back, and just knowing that they wanted a better life for their children. I'm one of two. I'm the oldest, and think I just was struggling with them as they were struggling as parents. I was struggling as a kid. I didn't have it easy growing up, but not for nothing. I never used that as anything to have sympathy for. I just use it as my fuel to really just figure shit out and really just get with it. Growing up in Connecticut, it was alright. It was okay. You know what I mean? But honestly, I wish there was just support for one another. I feel like here, a lot of people are just for themselves, and that's cool and all, but as a collective, we could do better, and I think that's what I've been trying to do lately. Just really work together with people, collab just like this and stuff, and really just put our voices out there because we have all of our stories matter, and we're all reflections of each other. Honestly, growing up, I went to Ripwalm for middle school. I went to Davenport for elementary, and I've always known I wanted more. I just never knew what it was, and that alone just has always had me pretty much just a student for life. Like, even though we're not in school anymore, I'm still a student because there's just so much to this life thing that we have no idea. We don't know. And it's cool. And I'm just really just embracing everything at this point. I just turned 22, and I remember I was reading a journal entry the other day when I was 16. I was like, by 21, I'm going to have a house. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have this. I don't got at 22, but it's okay. It's a part of the process, and it humbles you, and it prepares you for the next level. I was reading something earlier, and it was saying that history repeats, and life goes in a spiral. And it's really levels to this shit, and it's not about starting like a new chapter. It's more so just starting from experience. It's not starting from scratch. It's starting from experience. So I'm really excited going into this new chapter of my life. I'm here, but I'm still trying.
Yeah.
And it's up. It's up.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple points you mentioned right throughout your story that I kind of wanted to hit on too, because you mentioned being a student of life, right? Because the more we know, the more we realize how much we don't know. And
Yeah.
it's like as you start learning more and more and more, you start realizing like I don't know anything like at all of like this whole big picture that we got going on, this experience that we've been fortunate and blessed to live in with. And then the second part you kind of mentioned too there is that we're not starting from ground zero. Hold on. And you mentioned another point there too about growing up in Connecticut and there's not being enough collaboration, enough support. And something that I was naive about and didn't believe growing up was that supporters will support you more than your friends and family ever will. And I ain't think that ever until I got into entrepreneurship myself. And that's when I really truly realized that it's not the same level of support. Like when you got strangers supporting you, it's like these people support you from a place that they have no benefit from supporting you. They don't gain anything from supporting you. They don't really know you. They don't know who you are. Really, they see you somewhere and then they find your content or whatever you got going on. And like the way they support is crazy. And I really wanted to bring you on to start segueing into today's conversation a little bit because we have very kind of similar paths in our journey when we were both in college. And for whatever reason, we both decided to take another road. Right. And so I want to really get your feedback. And the reason I reached out to you is because one day I think one of my friends had posted a story with one of your YouTube videos on it. I was like, oh, I know her. So I watched your YouTube video and I think you was going in about why college was a scam and how it's not it and people shouldn't be wasting their time. And I was like, now she's not lying. She's not lying. Let me see, if you should be down to hop on the podcast and continue the conversation out a little bit further. So, what led you give us some context around where you were at in life around at the time you made that decision, and then what led you to making that decision about deciding not to get into to leave school and to kinda get into the entrepreneurship?
Okay, so it was 2018. Fresh out of high school, went straight into college. And then up until this point, I was doing everything we're supposed to do. Get the grades, graduate, get the book, get like just everything, like the perfect student. The perfect student. And I got to college and I was just like apart, like deep down, I know I didn't want to go. But at that
Yeah.
point, I was still a people pleaser. So I wanted to please my parents. Like, okay, like I always felt like I owed it to them. You know what I mean? Like they came to America
Yeah.
and they come with this idea, work, pool, get the job, get the crib, get married, and that's all it is to life. And
Yeah.
at that point, I was just like, damn, this is my life. You know what I mean? What about what I want to do? You know? And I felt like I got to college and it was this conversation that I had with this teacher that really opened my eyes. It was one of the things that made me leave. I'm gonna get into it, but this is one of the first things that had me like, mind you, this was the first semester. I dropped out the first semester. After like for oh shit, well, this time around 4 years ago, after after my first semester, that's when I decided, like, nah, I ain't going back. So this, like in January
Mhm.
after the winter, break, I didn't go back. But anyways, I'm back into it. I remember having a discussion with a teacher in class, and I was just asking questions like, "Do you feel like as a college teacher, what are your views for college? Like, be honest. Like, forget that you're a teacher. Forget that you did everything. What is your honest opinion on school and in college, just picking their brains and shit. And he took it. It's funny when people take things personally, you could tell like it triggered them, like it triggered a part of them, like a truth that they're not willing to accept yet, like an honest whatever. I just asked a simple
Yeah.
question. He went sick on me. He was like, well, everybody's here for a reason. The majority wouldn't have the majority of people wouldn't have gone to school if it wasn't what you're supposed to do. And you had everybody in the room like, and I'm looking at everybody like, no, if everybody's doing it, maybe I shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like everybody was just agreeing to what they were told. And that was like it was like a light bulb, like a light switch for me. Like, if everybody's doing it, maybe I shouldn't be doing it. It's for a reason. This is how they set up the society. This is how they set up, this is their agenda to make you feel like you have to do certain things. And I've always been one to believe like what's for you, most people won't do it. And when you do it, it'll feel right. And you'll still feel lost. You'll still feel like the odd one out, but I'd rather be the odd one out trying to figure it out on my own than doing what we're told to do. So that was one of the first things that just rubbed me off the wrong way. And then also like when I was in school, like I would ask, like I love conversation. Meaning, like, it makes sense why I'm on this. Yeah, but I like speaking
Yeah.
to people. I like picking people's brains, and I would ask people on campus, like, "Yo, what are you here for? Like, what's your intention with school and stuff like that?" And literally everybody would say, "I'm here for my parents. I wouldn't be here if it was up to me. I wouldn't be here." Or, I don't know what to do. Might as well go to school. Just really undeveloped answers that made me question. Well, shit, it's in my fucking face. Like, it's like, and it's funny how people feel as when they don't go to school or do things that most people, the majority won't do. Cause it's like, they'll make it seem like it's okay, but they're never honest, like I actually don't want to be there.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it just took those 3 months. I promise you, it was like, yeah, I was a student and I was starting my freshman year in college, but I was slowly and gradually just taking notes mentally. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here. I don't want to keep living a lie. It was pretty much like, how COVID, gotta wear a mask and shit. But for me,
Yeah.
it was like I was wearing a mask at that point. Like I was honest with myself. Like I've been wearing a mask. Like this is not exactly what I want to do. Like I don't know what it is, but this is where people lose themselves. And it sets you up for failure, honestly. And don't get me wrong, for anybody that's watching this is my opinion. Please
Mm.
don't attack me. Please don't do it. This is my thoughts. So don't take it there with me. But personally, it wasn't it for me. And I will be honest with you, in the past 4 years that I have not been a student in school, I have learned far more than what any school could teach me because I've been experiencing life for what it is, from opening
Mhm.
my own business I'm starting to do content creation, networking, being in certain rooms, meeting certain people. Like there is a life out there. It's not, you're not going to find what works for you by doing what you're told to do from the day that you're fucking born. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
real. Like I just had to be honest with myself. Like, yo, this ain't, I don't know what it is, but this right here ain't it. And ever since then, I've really just been on a journey of just unlearning myself to discover my true authentic self, my core self, not the entrepreneur, not the student, not the hustler, not the, we put labels on ourselves as we grow older. And when it comes down to it, without all this extra shit, who are you? And I feel like that was something
Yeah.
that was what made me drop out for real. Like I do not, if I didn't have, I don't know who I am, and it's okay to not know who you are, but it's up to you to really make the decision to find out what other parts are you. If I don't like, it's just, I feel like a lot of things are just so surface level things like, oh, she works here. Oh, she graduated from here. Oh, she's making this amount of money. Oh, she's this so and so's boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, who am I? Like, what can I bring to the table? And I feel like ever since then, I've just been trying to figure it out. I dropped out. I'm set the intention to drop out December 21st 4 years ago, 12/21. And there's a whole nother story about 12/21. But on that day specifically, I decided to leave. And the next day I packed my shit up and I was like, yeah, I'm out. So it's been
Yeah.
up ever since.
Yeah, so I have our stories kind of resembles each other's without a lot of different points. The one thing about me, I went to school, so I knew I wanted to go to school to network and learn how to live my own, right? And similar to you, so my parents, my grandparents who raised me are Dominican. I know you're Haitian, so they're immigrants. So it's like they grew up with a lot. I grew up with a lot of the same beliefs. A lot of my friends just so also happen to be Haitian, just growing up here in Stanford. But it's like it's the idea that the degree is the pinnacle of American success for immigrants. It's like I don't know who fed us that BS, but it's something that's definitely not serving a lot of people. And
Mhm.
so growing up for me, I knew exactly what I want to go to school for because I had a feeling that corporate wasn't the way for me, but I knew college was an opportunity to meet a bunch of people. And so like I went to UConn over in stores and that really me that like I think it's like 25,000 people on campus. I was like, that's a bunch of people that I could potentially network with and meet with. It's lit. And so like for me, that was my main way of going to school. But one thing they had, I was in a learning community over in UConn and for the School of Business. And they always had these like alumni events where you would pretty much go. They would have an alumni that graduated from the School of Business. They would come back in and we would get to have a one-on-one with them. And I went for every single one my first year. I think I went like to like 7 or 8. And one question I always asked them, I think we had like 15 or 30 minutes with them. One question I would always ask is, what is like one thing that you learned in school? I mean, in the workforce that you didn't learn in school, or how have you leveraged your degree to get you where you are in school, or something along those lines about pretty much asking, was it worth it? Are you using what you learned these 4 years or 5 years or 6 years if you have an MBA or not in your actual workplace? And the answer always kind of was the same. And like, so for me, then the pandemic hit. Fast forward, so March 2020 was our spring break. We then ended up not going back to school. Fast forward a little bit, I was like, I'm started learning about entrepreneurship and personal finance. And in that winter break between my third and fourth semester, I learned so much more in that winter break from YouTube videos and books and podcasts in that short amount of time that I was like going back. I went in and it was like, I seen the light and now I can't unsee it anymore. So like for me, dropping out, I signed up for real estate classes and I pretty much never looked back. And pretty much it was like a similar point where it's like I started learning about things that they weren't teaching in school, which led to my decision and made my decision a lot easier because I've been asking people who actually were alumni how school have been using it. And then from there, they were pretty much telling me like, yeah, I pretty much didn't use it. And then another thing I wanted to touch on too that you mentioned that was great is like, who are we when we aren't playing these roles? Whether that's a friend, whether that's brother or sister, whether that's boyfriend or girlfriend, husband, wife, kid, parent, athlete, trainer, whatever our occupation may be, when we're not fulfilling all these roles, who are we at the core, at the root of all that? And it's a hard question to ask because especially for men too, because men tend to have like attached who they are to what they do a lot more. That's why a lot of men tend to have it tough during retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like who really are we? And you're getting down to the bottom of it. And you were able to kind of start searching for it and you kind of got into entrepreneurship. And I know 1221 is also the name of the business that you started, but kind of put to the side on the back burner a little bit now. But tell us what it was like growing that, and your decision to take a step away from it to discover yourself again. Now, I think that's really the more important part of the question. But tell us a little bit about how you started 1221 and got that off the ground pretty quick and got it pretty well off the ground. And then the decision to like dial it back a little bit to figure out again, like, what is it really that I'm supposed to be doing?
So, okay, so 1221 is the reason why I left school back in 2018. So from the day that I left, I went back into what I knew, which was
Yeah.
grinding 2 to 3 jobs. Like if I'm not in school, might as well make some money. That was my mindset at the time until I figure it out. And that's just a typical thing for you to do. But then I realized when COVID hit, so COVID hit 2020. Yes. Okay. Yes. So COVID hit 2020. So from the time that I left school for that year or so, I was just working and stuff like that. Then COVID happened. And again, with the mask thing, like I felt like while everybody was scared, chaos, didn't know what the fuck was going on. Everyone was so fucking confused, like just nervous about what's next. I was the calmest I've ever been. Like I know this feeling. Like it reminded me of when I left school, like just that bro, just I don't know, in the midst of chaos, for you to be calm is the craziest shit ever. And that's exactly what happened to me when COVID happened again. And when COVID happened, and I was like, damn, I should not be doing this shit right here. Like I was working 3 jobs. I was a babysitter. I was working at Vitamin Shop and I was working at High Ridge in Starbucks. All of them. So Starbucks
Hmm.
and Vitamin Shop on High Ridge, go from one job to the next one, then babysitting. It was crazy. But it put me in check again. Like, hello, wake up. What the fuck? Like, why did you leave school? You know what I mean? For this exact reason. You can't keep doing the same shit that you were programmed to do. And don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
Yes, we are supposed to work. Like, but when it comes from a place of trauma and pain, money is energy. You will never be able to sustain it. Like ever.
Hmm.
Like ever. I was using working and having all these jobs and being this hustler as a mask to not face my shit, which is, yo, I don't know myself. You could say anything about me, just know I'm gonna get to the bag. And when I hear that now, I cringe. Cause it's like, I'm more than that. We're all more than that. We're all more than all these surface level things. And it was a real wake up call for me again. So I quit. COVID hit March 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I quit
Hmm.
all 3 of my jobs, May 2020. And I remember at the time, people were like, "Oh, you're crazy. You should be grateful that you have a job." Because this is around the time everyone was, losing their jobs and stuff
Hmm.
like that. "Oh, you should be grateful that you have a job, let alone 2 essential jobs," and all this just manipulation and projection. And I had to tell them straight up, like, I'm grateful for my life. And this right here, a job could go, but my life, once it goes, and you could lose a job and get another one. But
Yeah.
my job, like my life though, and my health, and my soul, and my happiness, can't lose that. I can't keep losing that. I can't keep giving it up, selling my soul for shit that don't even make me happy for real. So quit and I started 1221. At first I was just selling like little accessories and stuff like that or whatever. Then I got into clothing and hair and everything. And it really did. But my purpose for 1221 was to encourage people to not let these things define things. Emphasis on things, not the school, not the car, not the crib, not the degree, not the like all these surface level shit, materialistic shit that doesn't define you. The way that you navigate towards life is what defines you as a person, your character, the things that make your
Hmm.
soul on fire. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And so that was my purpose. That was my intention with 1221. And that was like the about me page. You know what I mean? Like I put my soul
Yeah.
and and I meant it with everything that I said. But as I was getting popular, as it was starting to skyrocket, I was still unhappy. And this was around the time people were still telling me the same shit, like, "Oh, you should be grateful. Oh, it's going so good." They were being inspired by me, like, "Oh, cool beans." You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I am. And I was. But I didn't start this for that. You know what I mean? It's like every time I like try to do something and I'm grateful every time I
Hmm.
try, it taught me something else. So I'm grateful. I don't regret anything that I've ever done because it's taught me something and it always redirected me to square one. This ain't this. This ain't that. And I was almost 6 figures in a year and a half. And it's kind of crazy for me to say, but could have been grateful. But And I am, and I could have continued, you know what I mean? But if it
Mhm.
was just continue just to get there, I don't want it. Like, I'd rather stop now. What's the point if I'm still not gonna be happy? So I stopped it because I became really depressed again,
Mhm.
really depressed. And I had to remind myself, is all this shit go? If all this shit were to disappear today, how would I be able to live with myself? And I wouldn't have been able to. And that was a lot, that alone, that answer alone was up. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't fuck this shit, you know? And it was a bizarre thing to most people. To this day, people ask me like, oh, why did you stop and stuff like that? And then it's just like, it's not meant for other people to understand. What's for
Mhm.
you? Shit, I don't even understand it. Let's put it like that. I don't understand it. So how do you expect me to explain to you what the fuck I'm doing? Because I don't know. But all I do know is that I've dedicated my life to trying new things, embracing life, and really discovering what there is, you know, and I'm on the search for it constantly every single day. And to go back to like finding my authentic self, I feel like less is more. It's so much
Mhm.
more. And Walk to Wealth, you know, the name of your podcast, it's like, it's wealth is more than just money. Like, once you, yo, wealth is the way that you feel when you wake up every day. Wealth is the way that you inspire others to just fucking want to keep trying. Wealth is the way that you focus on that dreams, and you look like the crazy person in the room, but you don't care to be that crazy because you have faith in it to a T. Nobody can tell you different. Wealth is more than money. Wealth is your energy, how you feel, the people that you keep around you, their environment, and the intentions that you set for yourself to really get to your best self. And you don't just get to your best self. There's not just one best self. You're gonna be it, bro. It's never ending process. And I feel like I had to detach myself from all the ideas and beliefs that I had and just reset. And I feel like a kid again. Like, I'm 22 years old. And to be honest, I feel like I was older when I was 17 because I was stressing myself out. I was attaching labels to myself, titles, just certain limiting beliefs and just ideas that weren't mine to begin with, you know? And if I could give, if I could give my 16-year-old some advice, like, it would be to honestly just go slow, go at your own pace. Social media, it has people in a chokehold for real, thinking that they aren't doing what they're smoke. You're exactly where you need to be. Don't looking at other people's paper. If we're gonna take it back to school, stop cheating. Stop looking at other people's paper and focus on your own paper and stay in your own path because it's gonna take you places. And you just have to have faith. And again, you don't have to have it all figured out. As long as you know you have yourself and you're staying true to yourself, that's key. And everything else will get into place. So wealth to me was money
Mhm.
before. But now wealth to me is good energy, feeling confident within myself and the things that I say, and just knowing that you only get one life. And I don't want to die not doing what I said I wanted to do or trying new things or being adventurous and just being a kid. I feel like growing up is a scam. That's another scam. Keep
Yeah, that's
kids, kids, bro, they with all the bullshit. They not scared for nothing. Why is it that we get older, we're scared to take risks and really just live it up? Like, nah, like, we outside. We outside.
yeah. Now you mentioned a really good point right there about finding that kid again, right? I feel like when we're a kid, that's when we're tapped into that unlimited potential, and
Mhm,
then the problem, not the problem, but it's like the journey to adulthood. It's you have to find a healthy medium because as a kid, you're nothing more than unlimited potential, and unlimited potential isn't actually manifested into the real world. But when you're in adulthood, you have to choose certain things so that you can focus on bringing that unlimited potential into reality, right? But
mhm,
it's like a lot of the times people lose that inner child altogether, right? And they just get stuck. They're programmed, whether that's through traumas, whether that's through school, whether that's through indoctrination, whether that's through social media and manipulation and peer pressure, whatever it may be, all these different factors being thrown at us at the same time. But it's like you have to realize you have to keep that inner kid with you for the ideas, for the belief, have that faith. but then you also have to be an adult because a kid, they believe they're anything, but in all actuality, they're nothing, right?
Mhm.
But as an adult, they may be something, but they don't believe in anything anymore. They don't dream anymore. They're not envisioning things anymore. They don't have that imagination that we all have. And that's really our fuel source that we use to gather that inspiration in spirit, right? And it's like these ideas, it's like I was talking to about this other guy the other day, and it's like these ideas that come into our head, it's like if we're not a good steward of ideas, right? When God puts these random ideas, whether it's to start 1221, whether it's to start my podcast, whatever it may be, like when God put these little ideas in our head, it's like if you don't act on those ideas, God's gonna be like, all right, I gave them a little opportunity, they ain't act on it, they're not a good steward of ideas. So that idea that was blessed into your mind, but now 6, 12, maybe 18 months later, when you see that thing that you were supposed to start that someone else started and got going off the ground now, that's the only finger you can point at is yourself, right? Because that idea was put into your head, and for whatever reason, we didn't act on it. But it's like similar to you. I got into real estate. I was convinced, like last year, this time, I was convinced that I'll be right where I'm at now, selling houses left and right, get it jumping in Stanford, and I'm putting Stanford on the map because I got it going with real estate. But for me, it was more so like as I was going throughout the journey, I was like, I started realizing like, although I could be amazing at real estate, maybe it just is not the road I really want to go down. So like taking a step back and realizing I read this book called The Purpose Factor. And then I got into maybe the social media things and content creation is where I really want to get into. And then I tried that for a little bit. And it was like, I started learning about this concept called Ikigai. And it's about a Japanese concept called, it stands for your reason for being. I think you would love looking into that.
Yeah.
And it's all about finding, the intersection of what you love to do, mixed with what the world needs, mixed with how what can reward us, mixed
Yeah.
with what we're actually good at. And that's the concept in a nutshell. But I was like, okay, maybe throughout this whole time, whether it was real estate or content creation, social media classes that I was teaching, one thing that I've been doing consistently is the podcast. And I was like, maybe it's the podcast that I really got to be focusing on. And real estate, I started selling a couple houses here in our area, like to do some quick numbers, 500,000. You get a 3% commission from that before taxes and splits and everything for simple numbers. That's about 15,000 right there. If you sell
Mhm.
one $500,000 house, average house price here in Connecticut in Stanford is about 800. So it's like
Yeah.
it don't take too many houses before you're really making bread. And I could have really got it going, but I was thinking it's like I feel like the message I've been blessed with, the message that I have it within me is meant to serve on such a larger scale. Because over here, you sell like 30 houses, you're the top
Yeah.
realtor in the area, but like that's only about 100 to 200 people you could help. But like if I take this podcast off the ground, I could easily help like 100 to 200,000 people.
I'm gonna cut you off
Hmm?
real quick. You spoke it into existence. We're gonna go back to this footage. We're going back to this episode in 2 years. You just said something huge. You're
Yeah.
thinking you could be the best in Connecticut. You could be the top selling real estate agent. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
this shit is bigger than you. This shit is bigger than you. And that's your inner child speaking like, no, I'm gonna go big. God said bigger. Let's talk about it. Like that's what's up. Like, and you're
Yeah.
not even making money like that with this yet. Yet, King, yet.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, when it takes off, it's gonna be worth it. You're not rushing the
Yeah.
process. It's nothing for you to sell a house, one, two, boom, bop, but you want to make an impact. That says a whole lot about your character. You could care less about a quick buck. You really want to take this shit somewhere that you don't even know where it's going, but you're trusting.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
and it's crazy, and you mentioned too throughout the conversation too, like you don't have to really know what's the next step, and it's like you got to think about like what a GPS does, right? When you think about a GPS, you don't calculate the first turn, right? You
Yeah,
you put in the final destination, and it calculates on its own. We don't we if but people have it backwards. You're so focused on like what's my next step? What do I do next? Do I turn on 95? Do I get off exit 6? Do I
yeah,
turn on West Main? It's like no, don't focus on the little turns in between. That's going to figure itself out, right? And recalibrate as if there's a traffic jam, what does it do? It recalibrates, right? So it's like you
yeah,
just gotta get crystal clear, focused on what's the end goal, what does the end goal look like? And I try not to go more than 5 years just because like you really don't know when it comes to life. But it's like have some type of end goal, whether it's a year out, 60 days out, 5 years out, 10 years, whatever the end date, it doesn't really matter as much. But as long as you have a date and a goal, a destination to get to. A lot of people, what they do is they driving around and they got their GPS set to Connecticut. Well, where in Connecticut are you trying to go? You
yeah,
can be in Stanford or you could be all the way by Hartford, right? But if you don't have the address, the zip code, the street name and everything down, you're not gonna end up where you really want to get to. So it's like for me, I started like as I said, been as I've been figuring myself out more and what I really, really want and felt called to do, I was getting more clarity around where I wanted to be and the person I needed to become in order to get to that place. And then these ideas, like right now I'm planning a virtual summit, right? So it's like that idea I literally got in a book. I was like, oh shoot, I could do that. I already know a bunch of people that I'm connected to. My network is crazy big. I was like, I could put that together. I could just interview some people and like, and boom. So I'm got that in the works right now. But it's like these little ideas, right? Like, and the crazy part about it, about 2 weeks before that, I did like this little in-person event, like on a whim. Like
Mhm.
when I wanted to do an in-person event, and it was like a little in-person podcast interview. I interviewed like 3 people and had like a little audience, 15 people. I did it on the fly, like super last minute, and I invited you to it. I'm telling you, it went from I was on a phone call with this guy named Brandon because he does events here in Stanford, and I
Mhm.
was like, he's someone I know that's doing it locally. And then I called him. I actually pick his brain. By the end of the phone call, he made a little flyer for me. He was like, John, if you don't post this tomorrow, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So, and the date was for 2 weeks from then. So 2 weeks before that Wednesday, 2 weeks before the 14th, when I hosted it, he was like, John, if you don't post this tomorrow, I don't want nothing to do with it. So I was just like, okay, let me figure it out. And so I just figured it out. And then about a week after that, now I get the idea to do a virtual summit. And it's like, I was like, oh, I gave him a little idea. He was a good steward of the idea. And it doesn't matter whether the event was a success or not. It just mattered, did you act on the idea that you were blessed with? All right. Then it's like, all right, let me see what he does with this idea. Right. So now I'm planning out this virtual summit, seeing where it takes me. And like literally, I hopped on a pre-show call to hop on someone else's podcast, right? Because I'm gonna be interviewed as a guest. And the guy, he just so happens to do he did a virtual summit, had over 5,000 registrants. He was like, "Yo, John, if you want to, aside from the podcast, like if you want to just hop on a call with me and like pick my brain about events and stuff like that." And this other guy in this one Facebook group I'm in, I don't even know this guy. We're not friends on Facebook. I just made a post one time asking about advice. He DM'd me like, "Hey, you ever get to doing a virtual event?" I was like, "No, I didn't. I'm actually in the process of planning it." He was like, "Hey, we just did 100,000 with our event. Like, if you want, like, let's hop on the call. I pick my brain in there, whatever." So it's like I got the idea, and then the people, the turns, like we were saying with the GPS, the people is starting to come to me. I ain't know what was going on. I just knew what the end goal was. I set a date, I set it together, and God started sending His blessings.
Bro, that is fire. Like, and it's like you just set the intention. All you did was set the intention. That's yo, my locks is itching. My locks itch. That means this shit is fire. Like this some
Yeah,
shit right. Like speaking of events, I know I told you about the creator con event that I wanted to do,
yeah,
and just to keep you updated, the other day I decided like I don't want to do it yet. I don't want to do it yet, and it was
hmm,
really hard for me because like me being me, I always just hop on it. Just like you said, like when God puts the idea in your head, just do it. But now we're learning from experience, though. I always get right with myself and I'm trying to fly off the gate. Like, just get the fuck out my way. Everybody get the fuck out my way. I'm outside. I had to be real with myself from experience, time after time. Every time that I do this, I crash. And what I feel is like in this time right now, I just need to chill. Like, and it's weird for me to even say, but we're in two different zones. You go ahead. I'm supporting you all the way. Don't even don't.
yeah,
Another thing we gotta learn, like someone else's experience is not gonna be yours, and vice versa. We're in two different lanes. You know what I mean? Me, you being you, go ahead. Like that's what's up. Like keep going, just keep flying, bro. Just keep trusting your intuition, because that's just gonna take you so far. But right now, personally, my intuition is telling me I gotta chill, and it sucks. But I'm starting. Like the more and more you know yourself, it's like I gotta stop rushing shit. I rush things. I rush the
mm,
process. And I've been learning to really just trust myself and trust that what's for me will be for me. And what's for you will be for you. And nobody could take that from us, no matter how this shit go. For real. For real. No matter how
yeah,
this shit go, just yo. And like, but not for nothing. You mentioning the virtual summit, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even think that ever. Like for real. Like
hmm,
that's fire. And that I'm gonna pick your brains after this call. Pick your brains
yeah.
after this.
Definitely. It's something that, as I said, like I'm reading this one book called Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. And I read, I'm not mind you, I'm only like a couple pages in because I stopped reading it after I got the virtual, like I think I was like probably like 15 pages in. And then I read the part where it said virtual summits. And then there's this other book that the first book he wrote was called .com Secrets, which I also have. And so in .com Secrets, the later part, a half of the book, latter part, a half of the book, he shows you examples of all his different like opt-in pages and landing pages. And one of the pages was like a summit page. So I went to that page and I started reading about virtual summits. I was like, bro, I could do this. And then so like I have been reading recently because I just been like all my focus recently has been like growing the podcast and like figuring out how on earth I'm gonna do it. And like most things, like for example, the event in person, I didn't know how. I never hosted an event before in person. I could speak in front of people. You gather the people, I'm good. I'll speak in front of them, but I never been the one to gather the people. Right?
Yeah.
That's not something I ever did. So it's like, but I figured it out. I ended up finding a venue. I got sponsors to sponsor some pizza and some soda. Like, and it all came together. And it was this virtual summit. The day I got the idea, I think literally the day of or the day after, I sent the email. I thought it through. I was like, okay, I'm like 3 days, 5 speakers each day. And like, I kind of was honest to do on like mindset, entrepreneurship, and like personal finance type of thing. And I was like, okay, I have people that talk about all these topics on my podcast. And so I sent the email like that first day, like within like the first like 15 minutes, two people responded to me like, yeah, of course, like I'm down. And then like that, by the end of the day, I probably had like 6 people already confirmed that they was with the idea. Mind you, I told them I don't really have much together. I got this idea and try to give them like a rough outline of what I plan. And like by the end of that day, people confirmed, and I'm right now, I already got all the speakers confirmed, ready to go. And it's all starting to piece together slowly but surely. I'm figuring it out. I'm doing the and it's coming out to play. And it's kind of like similar to what we've been talking about this whole podcast, pretty much about like when you really start covering yourself and you tapping back into that inner source that we all kind of have and we lose, it's like things come. And for me, I was so distracted in 2022 because I was trying to do the real estate. I was trying to do the social media stuff. I was trying to do the podcast. My podcast numbers are actually going down from like August to September, so August to like November. And then this month is like more than double my best month, which was in August, right? Because
Mhm.
like this much, I got so much more intentional. I feel like my blessings were being spread out across all these different things. But now that there's one thing I'm solely focusing on, all the blessings that I would have received are being pushed down this one aisle, right? And so it's like now all these ideas I'm starting to get, the opportunities I'm starting to get, the networking, I'm starting to speak on other shows. I got a speaking gig down in Orlando, like all these things, because I started focusing what I'm just a little bit, just a little bit. We're getting it big, we're getting it big. And so it's like, but that's gonna open doors to like some more opportunities, right? Because when I'm gonna go there, I'm going there with intentionality. Because my goal from that is how do I take that and have a whole bunch of other speaking gigs coming from it. So it's like I'm going to Orlando on a mission. It's like, of course, I got it's only a 5 minute little TED talk, like a 5 minute mini TED talk. But it's like, how do I make the most of those 5 minutes? And how do I make the most of the after parties and the networking stuff and all the other jazz so that when I come back home on that plane ride home, I got a whole lot of following up to do to make sure all these speaking gigs and all this stuff gets lined up because that's going to open doors and opportunities. But it took, as I said, it took clarity. It took stepping back from what was going to make me money in the short term. And like God has been like pushing through. I still work on a restaurant on the side. And like
Mhm.
money's been tight for a minute, but God always comes through and it keeping that dream alive, keeping that entrepreneurial spirit alive, and not falling victim of the scarcity mindset. Like it's not about the scarcity is not about the money you have at your bank account. It's more about the mindset you have. Because like you'll make ends meet. It'll the ends will meet somehow, some way. You'll figure it out. But like a lot of people get so focused on making ends meet that they lose sight of everything else, all the dreams, all the ideas, all the opportunities. And so it's like, and that's one thing where like for me, I was talking to this one lady at my church and she was asking me about how to get into real estate. And then I had told her that somewhere along the lines, I slipped in the fact that I didn't finish school. I left school to get into real estate or something like that. And then the same lady that was asking me for advice for how to get into real estate, mind you, she's about I think she's close to double or triple my age, right? But she was now trying to give me advice as to why I should go back to school. And the only thing I could think of in my head is like, you literally want to get to where I'm at right now, and you're 30, 35 years ahead in life than where I'm currently at right now. And of course, she makes more money than me, but like, I can guarantee you she isn't as fulfilled as I am. And it's like, but like knowing that and being okay with, as I said, saying no to the short term money, saying no to what we got to do, being able to take that step back to realize like, who really am I and what is it that I'm really called to do? And a lot of people don't take that focus because they always give the excuse like, "Oh, I'm young. I don't know. I'll figure it out." It's like, no, you won't. With that mindset, you'll never figure it out because life don't just fall on your lap. It never falls on your lap. Nothing falls on your lap. Like you have to have that intentionality, that clarity, right? And then when you start doing that stuff, that's when opportunities will start coming to you. But if you just living through life, if you just living life on like on autopilot, you'll be trapped forever.
And it's like, I tell people this all the time. You gotta keep trying shit. Like, I feel like the more that you try, like if you're scared to fail, you're done. Like you're supposed to fail. Those failures leads you into something else. It's a roadmap. You know what I mean? Like it's like just bro, just like when you take the wrong turn, and like you said, it recalculates to get you to it's gonna get you there. Like you just have to keep pushing. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people miss their shot by never just taking it.
Yeah.
Like you don't know how powerful you are and how capable you are until you could really try something and it may not work, but you still have the courage to try again. You could get slapped up, you could get beat the fuck down and still get back up and try again. That says a lot. That says a lot. And it says a lot about just who you are as a person, that you don't take failure as a bad thing. It places you, bro, it helps you. Yo, I'm
Yeah.
stubborn. Like this shit is OD. Like it's like this. These are the things that people need to hear. Failure is nothing to somebody that has God on their side. Real shit. Failure is nothing to it because everybody always, goes to people that are older for advice and stuff like that. What do they have that we don't experience? And they tell you about first thing they tell you about all the shit that they've been through. People are always saying these people are inspiring. They've been through this and still got here. Yep, that could be you too. It's a reflection of you. We keep idolizing other people when we could be that people. We could be that person. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Why do we always have to look up to somebody when bro, that's us. We're on our way. It doesn't seem like it, but bro, I don't know.
Now, you mentioned a good point too, right? It reminds me of a Bible verse that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I forget the verse, but it's like a lot of people say that they're living in faith and say that they believe and then operate out of scarcity. And it's like, yeah, the way you're living life and the thoughts and the things that you're reading and the beliefs that you're praying on and stuff like that, it doesn't really add up much. And it's like for me, I know that no matter what, like I'll be good. Like it's going to work out. Not
Yeah,
because life just works out in your favor. That no matter what I do, it'll work out. But like, here's the caveat to that. Here's the caveat to that though, so people don't get it confused. That life isn't just gonna work out though, unless you're getting after it. That's the thing. People think like it's not just gonna magically happen. You're not just gonna magically find success. You have to see the beauty with free will is that we have the power within us to make the decisions necessary to get to where we need to get to, but it's just up to us to get to it, right? And as I said, you're being intentional, as long as you know where you're going and you're actively trying to get there, it's about being active about it, right? There's nothing passive about this road to wealth or this road to getting there. Once you become wealthy, then you can get that passive income, you get the passive whatever, whatever. But it's like the road to get there is a very much active, a very much conscious journey, especially when you have to, as you mentioned earlier too, you have to unlearn a lot of yourself because there's so many things. It's not just about learning new things. If we should learn all these things and still have these old beliefs that aren't serving us, and they're going to always conflict with one another, and you're going to have this internal conflict and you're not wondering why you're putting all these hours in, but not seeing all the results that you wanted to see or that you were expecting to see. It's because you have this internal conflict between the belief of yourself and then what you actually want to do. Because if you believe that you're someone that's it's tight with money, if you believe that you're someone that doesn't deserve money or that money is evil and stuff like that, it's like, well, you're never going to be successful. You believe that you're someone that's not worth loving. Well,
yeah,
good luck finding a relationship, right? It all plays down to are the beliefs that we have of ourselves in alignment with what we're expecting.
there
Exactly.
we there we go. Like, and it's like, put it like this: currency for us, people that walk with the same faith that we have. Currency is energy, faith, and our actions. Those three. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing to it. Like we don't need all the facts. We don't need. We just need to see the bigger picture. And we'll figure it out with that. And just speak it into existence, set that intention. You said something that was very important: being intentional. I used to do things off the fly. You know what I mean? And that's everybody, but when you really set an intention everything else will be figured out. Just like you said, you just had the intention for to just have the event. All the other pieces came together. And it seems like magic. It seems crazy. Can you probably tell people like, yo, I don't even know how the fuck that happened. Only somebody that understands the frequency that you're on can understand what you mean. Like, bro, it just happened. Like, it just happened because you're staying true to yourself. And these are the things that we need to learn from experience. When shit like that happens, you're doing something right.
Mhm.
Doing something right. It doesn't just happen. Like, I'm done. I think that's something that I gotta take out of my vocab as well. Oh, it just happened. It was meant to happen because I set the intention. It was meant to happen because I believed in that idea. It was meant to happen. Like even with 1221, from day one, I told everybody I'm gonna hit six figures. Watch this. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but and then when it's actually happening, let me tell you, when I broke 50,000, I was like, this is getting scary. Like I know I said I was gonna do it, but
Yes.
it's like I was scared. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was scared. I was like, oh, like chill, like okay, like you know what I mean. And it's like that's why our words are powerful. Our words are spells. Our words is what creates our own reality. Our thoughts, like every bro. That's gonna be another episode for real. Episode. Fuck it. I'm talking. Words are so powerful. What the fuck do you believe in? What do you believe in? What do you feel is meant to be in your reality? And what are you going to do to get there? And how far are you willing to go? Because a lot of times you're going to seem crazy. You're going to seem like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're going to seem like you are all over the place. Little do they know God got a place that designated for you. You just got to get there. No matter what. No matter the circumstance. No matter the failures. I'll get there. You're going to get there. And not for nothing, John. I'm going to give you your flowers, bro. I'm so proud of you. I don't even know you like that. But I'm so proud of you because especially where we come from, where everybody believes
Yeah.
their environment, they're a product of their own environment. You know what I mean? Growing up, what's the one
Yeah.
thing nobody can make it out of Connecticut. There's nothing here for us.
I gotta move out of Stanford.
Bro, now I gotta move out of Stanford. Bro, you ain't gonna get nowhere. You gonna go somewhere else and have saying the same shit. You just don't believe it for yourself. You don't believe enough that you could go, bro. Man, don't.
Yeah.
Man.
I wanted to keep on going with that same thought, right? Because like a lot of people don't realize that with the so it's a double-edged sword, this game that we're playing, right? Because with intentionality, like it was meant to happen. That means us failing too was meant to happen, right? We can't just take it with the good, right? We have to take the bad that comes with it, right? All the times that life was hard, all the bad stuff, all the bad situation that we put for ourselves, that was meant to happen, right? Because we're an accumulation of our past thoughts, right? So all this stuff that we're living out in today's day and age, right? In today's time, in the present, and just things that we believed and thought of and got together, whether you realize consciously or subconsciously, it's just a combination of all that stuff is where we're at now. So it's like, figuring that out, it's like, well, how do I change all these thoughts now so I can get to where I'm going? And we both grew up here, and it's like all I ever heard is I got to get out of Stanford. You can't, nothing, no one can make it out of Stanford. Like when when a thought of the virtual summit came to mind, I was like, there is no one in the area that did anything like this. I'm about to tee up and take this to a whole nother level because like so many people are focused on their excuses. So many people are focused on they're still on IG and Snap and Facebook beefing about things that don't matter. High school's drama, talking about other dudes' partners. So many people our age is talking about get your money up and flexing with materialistic things that don't really matter. And deep down, it's just a charade that they got thrown on. And people see these people, right? Because these are the same people that was cool in high school, and they see these people. There's like one guy I came across the other day who was like mad popular in high school. He had all the juice, everyone knew him. And like the other day I came across him and I just like, yo, this guy kind of comes off as weird to me. Like, and I could just tell like within like from me just shaking his hair real quick and dapping him up, I would just like, yeah, energy is like so much lower than where I'm at. And it's like
Yeah.
all that high school popularity, all that I'm the man around town, like, the shawty around town. It's like that dies off so quick. And if you're not really trying to level up in life, it's like once we get into the adult world, and we're both kind of just fresh into the adult world a little bit in the grand scheme of things. We're just kind of relatively new into the adult world. But it's like, but you realize even now, like from other people our age, it's like I'm not sure I can have a conversation anymore with a lot of people just because like small talk and like if it's not about growth minded stuff, it's like I can't anymore. I talk to so many higher minded people, and not even just people with more money, just people who just think more of life. That's been for the past year become the only people I talk to. Like trying to hop back into like the I guess the regular world. It's just like and have like regular small talk. It's difficult now. Like
It's
I have to kind of
once
like
exposed to abundance, once you're exposed to real gratitude, once you're exposed to the bigger things in life, and when I say thing, you know what I mean, like, not thing,
yeah,
not just ideas. People really
yeah,
thinking big. Think big, bitch, for real. Like that TikTok, that's my shit. Like, think big, bitch, when it comes down to it, think big because why should we settle? Why should we ever limit ourselves? Why should we ever think that this is where it could this is the only this is up to the point that it could get when it could bro, you know what I mean? Like sky's
yeah.
the limit. And sky's not even the limit. There is no limit. There is no limit
Mm,
to where we could go as long as we believe. And it's like, I don't know, like you said, like you can't have small talk anymore. I'm gonna be honest with
yeah,
you. For a while, I would force myself to have small talk with people because I felt bad. But
yeah,
I'm not going against how I feel anymore. Like this right here, this conversation is not helping me. And it's like
yeah,
it would take a lot because it's like I want to help everybody. I want to be there for everybody. I want to put everybody on, but that drains us and that distracts us from the
yeah,
goal. It doesn't keep us focused, and we have to stay focused. And I don't know. I'm just starting to believe like your reality mirrors who you are.
yeah,
If you're having a shitty life, you have to look within yourself. You have to. You have to. Or everyone's just always pointing fingers like this, that, or this made me like this, or this person this, or I blame this person. We never take accountability and we're never honest with ourselves and realize the wrong, like what we're doing ourselves to really create the reality that's in front of us. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. It's just crazy. Like I said, the more you don't know, and there's just so much to this shit. And I don't know, it's like as long as we stay students, as long as we stay hungry for knowledge and information, this shit is going up. Like for real. Like
yeah.
for real.
Sean, you dropped out a bunch of like good, but and like someone else also runs like pretty much you're not that much older than me, so it's like it's great, always great as you probably already know, connecting with other people our age that got a good head on their shoulders, whether they're both from Stanford like us or like wherever we come across these people, just like knowing like there's other people like out there, kind of similar to what we got going on, and just thinking big. Where could we find you at? Where could we connect with you at? What do you have going on so we could learn more about you and what you got in the books and what you got in store?
Follow me on Instagram and Shanya the Creator. And that name I came up with it maybe like 2, 3 years ago. And just talking about shit like Shanya the Creator. And I don't know. I don't know. It really resonates with me now. I used to think I wasn't creative, and I used to, because we're thinking you got to be an artist. You have to be, it has to be attached to some sort of surface level thing. And yeah, I used to think I wasn't creative, but when it comes down to it, we are all creators, just like the creator. And not for nothing, he makes us in his liking. We are just like him. We have the power and the free will to do whatever the fuck we want, create whatever the fuck we want, and really do this shit called life. And our life alone is a creation. And it's whatever we make it. And we hold the pen, we hold the pencil, and we hold the crayon, we hold the bro. We are creators. So that's where that name came from. So yes, follow me on Instagram at Shania the Creator. I am that's about it. So wait, really to connect with me, honestly, and
Yeah.
come back on this podcast.
Yeah. All right. So time for our final five questions to set the tone for the rest of the year. This is or the rest of this set the tone for this new year, actually. First question. What is the most impactful lesson you've learned in life?
Only one.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound corny, but keep going. Like, keep going. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I used to get annoyed hearing that. Keep going. Like, what do you mean keep going? But no, for real, all jokes aside, the best lesson that I have learned is to keep going because it's only the beginning and it's always just the beginning.
What is the most admirable trait a person can have?
Resilience.
If you had to change someone's life with one book, which book would you recommend?
Whoa. Give me a second. The Power of Now. And I only say that because I have a lot of favorite books, but I just feel like in this very moment, what are we doing now? We're on this. And the power of now, what you do now is really what determines your future. Just staying in the present moment. So I really recommend that book.
What is the legacy that you're trying to leave behind?
Damn, that's tough. The legacy that I'm trying to leave behind, that I am going to leave behind, is loving yourself is ultimately loving God's creation. Like, I don't know, I feel like people are so caught up in finding their purpose when our purpose is to live. Nothing to it. You know what I mean? Like just your purpose, my purpose, everyone's purpose is to live. And our existence alone is our purpose. What we do with our existence is our purpose. The things that we do, the things that we say, the way that we are, the things that we experience, the things that we learn, this whole shit altogether is our purpose. So my legacy is to really just live. Bro, and like God forbid, but bro, it's real life. If I were to die today, I want everybody to say, yo, Chanya, that bitch lived it up. Like she actually tried to really experience life for what it is and she loved it and she was excited to really explore and see the creation that God has presented us. And we are our own greatest creation. So really just trying to figure it out and maximize my experience on earth to create my own heaven on earth. I don't want to wait to go to heaven. I'm gonna create this shit now because I believe God gave me the power to do so.
For anyone listening, no matter where they are in their journey or in their life, whether they're our age, whether they're old, what is the first step someone could take to start their walk to wealth?
Fucking walk. Like fucking walk this shit out. Like for real, like and go at your own pace, figure it out, pick up things on the way. You know what I mean? Like it's not oh, I feel like walk to wealth. And I was really honored when he asked me to be on this podcast. I was like, oh shit, like, yo, like you're doing something big here. And the first step to getting to wealth is just walking and learning as you go and being present, seeing the things around you, just really just being open to the walk. You know what I mean? Because you could walk and be on your phone the whole time, be distracted. You know what I mean? Being indulged in shit that got nothing to do with you, for real. Nothing to do with you. But if you're walking and you're actually present and you are understanding that this destination is only temporary and you're going to get somewhere else, that's wealth right there. For real. That's wealth. Simple as shit. That's wealth.
I mean, Shani, well, it was great getting you on. I know it took us a couple times to get it together, but we got it together. We finally got to get you on. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on and just having this conversation with me today.
Thank you for having me for real. And I'm excited to go on this walk to wealth with you. For real, for real.